On my 18th birthday, my mother said, "Your sister needs this more. Stop being selfish." I left that night, and even now when I think about it, my chest still tightens because it wasn't just about a gift or a party or money. It was about finally realizing exactly where I stood in my own family, and I still don't know if I did the right thing or if I just snapped. So tell me honestly, if you were in my place, would you have walked away too? Or would you have stayed and swallowed it like I had done my entire life? Because that night everything broke in a way that can never be fixed. I remember standing there, with everyone gathered, fake smiles stretched across their faces, and my mom looking at me like I was the problem just for existing. And those words came out of her mouth so casually, like it was the most obvious thing in the world, like my feelings were nothing, like I was selfish for wanting something on the one day that was supposed to be mine. And my first thought wasn't anger. It was embarrassment, humiliation, the heavy feeling that I was foolish for expecting anything different. And in that moment, I felt something inside me finally crack. To really explain how it got this bad, I have to start earlier, long before that birthday, back when I was a kid, and I still believed my family loved me in the same way they loved my sister. My sister, let's call her Emily, is 2 years older than me. She was always the golden child. Beautiful, talented, fragile. My parents treated her like she might break if the world was too hard on her. Me? I was the responsible one, the quiet one, the one who could handle disappointment. So they gave it to me as often as possible. If there was one cookie left, Emily got it. If there was money for one activity, Emily got dance classes while I stayed home and watched. When I brought home good grades, the reaction was, "That's what we expect from you." When Emily brought home average grades, there was celebration, pizza, praise. I remember birthdays where she got parties, balloons, gifts that filled the table. My birthdays were often family dinners at home with something small, and I convinced myself it didn't matter, that it made me stronger, that one day they'd see me too. As we got older, the excuses changed, but the favoritism stayed. Emily needed a new phone for school. I used an old cracked one. Emily needed money for clothes. I wore hand-me-downs. Emily needed time, attention, encouragement. I was told to be mature and understand. And I did, or at least I tried. I thought this was normal. I thought every family had dynamics like this. I told myself that when I turned 18, things would be different. 18 felt like a milestone, an age where your parents finally see you as your own person. I imagined maybe a small party with some friends, a cake, maybe even a meaningful gift, not something expensive, just something that said, "We see you, you matter too." So when my birthday came closer, I allowed myself to hope, and honestly, that's what hurt the most. My mom asked what I wanted weeks in advance. I was surprised, almost excited. I told her I didn't need much, just maybe a laptop for college since I was going to start applying soon, or at least some help saving for it. She nodded like it was reasonable. My dad even joked about celebrating my adulthood. For the first time, it felt like maybe I wasn't invisible. I helped clean the house that morning. I helped cook, I set the table, because that's who I was, helpful, accommodating, always trying to earn what my sister got automatically. The relatives arrived. There was laughter, music, the usual chaos. I kept waiting for that moment, the moment that was supposed to be about me. When it finally came, my mom brought out a small envelope and I actually felt tears forming because I thought maybe, just maybe, this was the start of something new. She handed it to me, but as she did, she looked more nervous than happy. I opened it and it was empty, just an empty card. I looked up confused and that's when she sighed, rolled her eyes slightly and said it clearly, like I was a selfish child throwing a tantrum. "Your sister needs this more. We had to help her with her tuition this month. You'll understand. Stop being selfish." Everyone around us nodded like this was reasonable. My dad avoided eye contact. Emily didn't even look guilty. She shrugged, almost annoyed that I was the topic at all. And I felt the room spin. My 18th birthday had been turned into yet another sacrifice for my sister, and I was expected to smile and accept it because that's what I always did. I tried to swallow it at first. I tried to fake a smile, but the words echoed in my head. Stop being selfish, as if asking to be acknowledged once in my life was greed, as if turning 18 meant nothing. Inside, I was screaming. All the memories of every dismissal, every "your sister needs it more," flooded back at once. My hands shook. My throat tightened. I quietly excused myself and went to my room. And of course my mom followed. Not to comfort me, but to scold me. She said I was ruining the evening, that family helps each other, that Emily was struggling. I asked, "When has anyone ever helped me?" and she just stared at me, genuinely confused, like she truly believed I had been treated fairly. That broke me more than anything. And this is where things really shifted, because for the first time, instead of apologizing, instead of backing down, I said, I'm done. I started packing my things. I had a little money saved from a part-time job. I had a friend who said I could crash at their place if things ever got bad. My mom thought I was bluffing. She laughed at first, told me to stop being dramatic, but I kept packing. My dad finally came in, asked me to calm down to talk later, but no one said the words I needed to hear. No one said, we're sorry. We should have treated you better. You matter too. All I heard was, don't make a scene. Don't embarrass us. Don't overreact. So that was the situation I was in, standing there with my bag in my hand, my entire childhood behind me, and a family who only loved me when I was useful. I had to make a choice. Stay and continue to be invisible, or leave and risk everything, maybe even being alone. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause for a second and really think about it. If you were in my shoes and on your 18th birthday, being told again that you didn't matter, what would you have done? Comment what you think, because I still question myself sometimes. I walked out that night. I didn't slam the door. I didn't scream. I just left. Outside, the air felt different, colder but somehow cleaner. I went to my friend's place, and for the first time, someone actually listened without immediately taking my mother's side. They told me I wasn't crazy, that it wasn't normal to constantly sacrifice everything for one sibling. I cried harder than I ever had, not because I regretted leaving, but because I realized how badly I had wanted their love, and how long I had been starving without even knowing it. Over the next few weeks, things were rough. I worked more hours, stayed with friends, eventually rented a small room. My parents called at first, not to apologize, but to guilt trip me. They said I was being dramatic, ungrateful, disrespectful. My mom even said, we gave you a roof for 18 years. Like love was a transaction, like basic parenting was charity. Emily never reached out once. Time passed. I finished school, got into a local college with scholarships, bought my own cheap laptop with money I earned myself, and slowly, painfully, I built a life. I wasn't perfect. I was lonely sometimes. I missed having parents, even flawed ones, but I also felt stronger than I ever had, like I was finally allowed to exist. Months later, my mother called again, but this time her tone was different. Emily had dropped out of her program, racked up debt, and now my parents were struggling. My mom wanted me to move back, get a job near them, help out as family. The irony almost made me laugh. I asked her one simple question. When I needed something on the one day that was supposed to be mine, where was my family? She got quiet. Then she said, you're still holding on to that? As if it was a small thing, as if it hadn't been the final straw in a lifetime of being second place. I told her I loved them, but I wasn't coming back, and I wasn't sacrificing my future anymore. She hung up. The aftermath wasn't dramatic. There was no screaming match, no big reconciliation, just distance. Over time, I learned that you can love people and still walk away, when staying means losing yourself. I still think about that birthday sometimes, about the empty card and the way the room felt, when everyone silently agreed that I didn't deserve anything. But now I see it differently. It wasn't the beginning of my heartbreak. It was the end of it. It was the moment I stopped begging to be chosen and started choosing myself. If you've ever felt like the forgotten child, like the backup plan, like the person who is always told to understand, I want you to know something. It isn't selfish to want to be valued. It isn't selfish to draw boundaries. It isn't selfish to leave when staying hurts. That birthday hurt more than anything. But it pushed me into a life where I no longer have to apologize for existing. And maybe, just maybe, one day my mother will understand that what she called selfishness was actually survival. So that's my story. If you were on my side, like this video, because it honestly helps more than you know. Subscribe for more stories like this, and share your final thoughts in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you would have done. Tell me if I was wrong or if you've lived something similar. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you all in the next story.